you, Mr. Chairman. And we've spent a lot of time talking about maintenance this morning, and I appreciate that very much. We all value our maintainers very much, and I know it's very different having maintainers in a transportation ground unit than having maintainers in your squadrons, but just really understanding how very important it is. And Secretary, in your written statement, you did reference some of the challenges that you're facing in regard to sustainment of weapon systems, of equipment, particularly with regard to the maintenance and the logistics. And I was pleased to see that the Air Force does continue to look for ways to improve efficiency and cost effectiveness. So again, going back to emerging threats and capabilities, one of the things that we spend some time talking about is artificial intelligence. And we do continue to hear about the potential benefits of AI and machine learning on issues such as predictive maintenance. And is the Air Force currently utilizing these types of technologies, or do you think these emerging technologies present maybe a cost-effective means of improving maintenance and logistics within the Air Force?
Senator, a very good question. We are actually testing out what we call conditions-based maintenance plus, which involves both predictive analytics and also sensing on aircraft. We're trying them initially on the B-1 and the C-5, and we're seeing a significant reduction in cost, but also a reduction, about 30% reduction in unscheduled maintenance. So this is, you're predicting when a part is likely to fail, and you change that part when it's in for its inspection rather than waiting for it to fail out on the flight line. We're now trying to develop the apps to move that and propagate it throughout the rest of the fleet. We're also doing some other things with respect to driving down the costs. We set up an office, and we'll give it a 2-year run and then take a look as to how much it saved us, called the Rapid Sustainment Office, to try to use advanced manufacturing technologies, 3D printing of metals, but also things like cold spray technology to repair parts rather than replace them. Just as one example, there was a recent article about some of our airmen out in California who, we have a part that heats water on the back of a KC-10. The handle keeps breaking. Because they only buy they're not in manufacture anymore, and because they only buy maybe 5 of them a year, they're pretty expensive to go back and have somebody tool it the old way. In fact, Defense Logistics Agency was quoting just a completely unreasonable cost, and so we 3D print them for 50 cents. So those kinds of things can drive down the cost.
And since you brought that up, I was out at 29 Palms earlier this year, and we had that discussion about 3D printing of parts to make it readily available for our men and women that are out in the field. They're forward deployed. The supply chain is not as easy in those types of environments. And any thoughts then on patents? There's a lot of concern from industry that we'll be able to replicate various parts, replacement parts, and not give full credit to the industries that have originally manufactured and designed those parts. Any thoughts on where we should be going in that space?
Senator, we're trying to go to a place where we get the intellectual property or negotiate for a license to build things. Just in the first quarter of last year, we had 10,000 requests for parts where there was not a single bidder. You look at something like the C-5, it's not being produced anymore. The parts aren't being produced anymore. So the door handle breaks on the back of a C-5 and you don't have a parts supplier. So we are 3D printing those in metal. We're also using technologies now. The Army, Navy, and Air Force are working together on advanced manufacturing, but the chafing on rivet holes on aircraft or on the hydraulics lines, to be able to repair those by low temperature but high speed spraying of nanoparticles of metal to basically repair the metal rather than replace the part. It's much less expensive and keeps our mission capable rates higher. So the Rapid Sustainment Office is intended to use these technologies, rapidly get them into the field, onto our aircraft, and reduce the cost and increase our mission capable rates.
I love that. Incredible cost savings and innovation, and to be able to do it right on the spot, too. Very good.